played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. This should be played at high volume. Preferably in a residential area.
The following thoughts on Hoppe Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing. You're listening to Hoppe Hour.
What up? What's happening? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. And the last time I had this guest on, Adobe Audition froze on me. And it was a really good segment, but I lost it, so it's heartbreaking. But he's back again. From Cigar City Comedy, one of the best comedians here in the Tampa Bay area, Chris Matson.
What's up,
live
buddy?
on Hoppe Hour. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me again.
Dude,
hopefully we can recreate the magic we had before.
Dude, it was sad. I was like editing it, and then it froze.
Yeah.
And I'm clicking, and then it looks like that thing from 2004 where if you scrolled around the computer,
yeah,
it looks all like you're in a different dimension.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. And I was like, no.
They gotta get better
then I'm
shit
like,
here.
oh, man, I don't want to tell Chris Matson. I don't want to tell this guest I just had on.
I know, man. I'm so busy. I got so much shit to do, so.
I remember I made up something like the board crashed. No, Adobe fucking crashed. It was ridiculous. Oh, boy, was I embarrassed. But how has everything been, man? What have you been up to?
Good, man. Doing shows when I can, working. Same old shit, man. Just trying to grind and get out there and do as many fun shows as possible.
You ever burn out?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean,
I've been burning out today. I took the greatest nap. It feels amazing.
Oh, yeah. I fucking work in catering, so we're pretty busy. And then to manage that and do shows and try to do, podcasts and other things like that is pretty
How
fucking.
often do you do shows?
I try to get on once or twice a week at least.
Do you go to open mics?
I am now starting to because the shows are starting to dry up. As usual, man, it's feast or famine with this. So I try to get up once or twice a week and then do open mics or just do guest spots. And then I got some shows coming up. So
you have to go to the one at James Joyce and John James.
I heard it's fucking amazing. I want to go check it out, man.
It's like a Tim and Eric skit.
Yeah.
It is so random.
I heard
there's this guy named Randy.
Randy Holton? I love that guy. He's been around since I have done stand-up. And
I'm obsessed with Randy.
He is so great, man. His little fucking snicker after every joke.
He was like doing a whole bit on bells.
Yeah. His topics are pretty unique, and he can make a joke.
Doorbells, cowbells.
Yep, everything, man. Whores. He's always got some whore joke.
He had one. He's talking about how if he went to prison, he's not going to get raped, so he's going to put a bottle up his ass so it's no enter zone.
I love it. I absolutely love it, man. He is a character, man. He's been around since I started doing stand-up.
That's the same thing Matt Fernandez said, that he's just kind of always been around doing his thing.
Yeah, and he doesn't falter, and he always goes up, and he does his stuff, and he doesn't, freak out, and he's never been a problem, and he's never, been that mean comic that's like, oh, why am I not getting more? Why am I not doing this?
I'm not
He genuinely just goes up because he has fun. And you could see
I've never been a fan of mean comics. I don't get it.
No. I mean, it happens. Everybody, including myself, at some point you get mean. But it's either you can be inwardly where you just fucking hate yourself or you hate everybody quietly, or you could be that person that goes on Facebook and has a fucking meltdown and gets everybody all pissed off and bent out of shape and shit, which I've seen a lot.
Sometimes.
A lot.
I had a meltdown this weekend where I was bitching about the media's coverage of Trump, and people were flipping out on me.
Well, that's always going to be the case, man, because it's fucking clickbait at this point. That guy says whatever the fuck he wants, man, and it's
such a fucking
unfortunately he has
disgrace.
a lot of goddamn followers. So
the biggest thing that's making me sick is that piece of dirt Ted Cruz quoting a movie while insulting Trump.
I didn't
you're
hear
a
that.
corny little piece of dirt.
Yeah.
You're making me root for Trump when it comes to the right
Ted
side.
Cruz
That's
is
impossible. I despise Ted Cruz.
That's the guy that looks like Dracula, right? Or is
Yeah.
that? Yeah, that is. I was thinking of Rubio. Never mind. Yeah, Cruz is. I haven't really been following too much, but I know he's not good.
Well, I listen to Opie and Jimmy a lot, and they talk about it, and so does Calta.
Yeah.
I would say more well-versed than the average person, but I'm not going to, start a discussion on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah.
But I know enough, and it's just these guys are weirdos. The problem with Ted Cruz is he prays at his little rallies.
Yeah.
And then he's so,
and then at the same time,
anti-abortion.
and then at the same time wants to go to war at the drop of a hat. It's like,
And what I don't like about Ted Cruz either, I'm not going to sit here and say Obama was a great president. I voted for him. I think he was all right. But it seems like he's bent on ending everything that Obama began. It seems like he wants to get rid of Obamacare.
Shut up. I think Trump is the same way, where they just, instead of stating their own policies and their own views, all they do is harp on what Obama did and stuff. And that's not really progressive or getting us anywhere. It's just a bunch of bickering bullshit.
Say what you want about Ted Cruz, but at least he acts like he has a plan on Twitter or when he speaks. Whenever I've watched a Trump rally or whenever I've read his Twitter, it's all about me, me. Megyn Kelly, me. Megyn Kelly, me. Megyn Kelly. It's like, do you want to help America or do you want this to be Trump land? It's so sickening.
Yeah.
And I don't know how anybody thinks that Make America Great Again is actually a legit thing.
No.
It's Make America Trump.
Read the transcript from the Washington Post where he sat down with all the columnists and stuff from the Washington Post.
Yeah.
And there's this transcript of that interaction, and it basically shows you exactly what he is. He can't get a point out. He talks in circles, and then he contradicts himself at every fucking turn, and it's embarrassing.
I heard on the radio, I think I heard this on Opie and Jimmy, that there's a website that tells you how much they lie.
Mm-hmm.
He believes in
PolitiFact.
lying.
Yeah.
No big deal.
PolitiFact. It's like 80% of everything that he says in any one of his speeches is complete fabrication.
It's like idiocracy. The fact that people actually fall for this.
Yeah.
I would rather have President Camacho because at least he was trying to fix things.
Exactly. Yeah, it's bad, man. It's going to get worse. I really hope that if it comes down to
what the hell are you?
That's what I'm saying. You know, the only thing that's going to save us right now is the Electoral College, because that's really who puts the president in office. And hopefully, there's some smart people there that'll be like, "All right, we can't fucking have this happen. We're going to have."
I think even though Hillary might be an awful person, she's very corrupt. She has so much experience. I heard online that she went to 200 different countries in her whole life.
Yeah.
I just think with the experience she has, and I guess having Bill in the office who was a decent president, just give it to her.
Yeah.
Or even if Bernie Sanders somehow makes an underdog run, give it to him. But
yeah, I would rather have any of them because Trump, he's not a politician. He's a goddamn
he was
reality
a
star.
TV
yeah.
show I grew up watching.
Yeah, he's a
5
reality
years
star.
Ago, I was watching him on NBC. Would you ever think 5
No.
years ago in 2011 he'd be a presidential frontrunner?
No, and he's changed his party, 3 times? He was a Democrat back in the 80s, and then he was an independent. The independent party didn't want to back him, so then he decided to become a Republican.
I just don't like this thing where they're trashing each other's wives. I'm like, what are you, the Kardashians?
It's all little fucking bickering bullshit because, like, the whole hands thing, like his little hands or whatever that everybody keeps talking about, he's everything he's got to bring it up. And that's another thing in the Washington Post. They were asking him questions like, do you think it's presidential to have conversations like that in a debate where you're spending 10, 15 minutes on the size of your fingers and everything like that? He's like, no, it's not presidential, but I felt that I had to defend my little tiny hands. Who gives a shit, dude? It's insane that it's happening right now.
Defending his big monkey ears for 10 minutes?
No.
Well, maybe the word monkey is a little
God,
far.
no, I don't know.
Do you hear him talking about his Dumbo ears?
Yeah, nobody talks about, whatever, like how short they are or how tall they are. Nobody gives a fuck. Just
Did
run
anybody
the country.
spend 10 minutes talking about how much of a mental moron, I kept it clean, that George Bush is? No.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like it's a high school debate at this point on a playground.
That's
not even
kind of an insult to a high school debate.
That's
they
true.
might actually
All
try
right.
and want to do it.
yeah, it's like standing on the corner arguing with your friends is essentially what it is.
It's like being on the playground and you're saying, my cooties are better than your cooties.
Anything.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's not anything that should be representative of this country.
Are you into wrestling?
Not really. I was when I was a kid, but yeah.
People, because I was making sure you wouldn't be offended.
Yeah, no.
People who love wrestling and have to watch every second of it and pay for the WWE network are the same people that want Trump to win. It's that low IQ, moronic dumbasses.
Yeah.
And I'll say that. People get so offended. It's the people that are wrestling fans.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be like a shock jock. but it's the people that like NASCAR that live in the middle of nowhere. It's not higher class people. It's not hardworking middle class people. It's the lower end middle class that's not very intelligent. And I'm sorry, I know people don't want to say that or hear that, but it's really true.
It is. There's a correlation between low IQ and wanting to have I'm going to draw the line here, but a lot of Republicans, those candidates, they always talk about how Bernie Sanders wants to tax everyone. No, he doesn't. He wants to tax the top 1%, which is like 200 people, maybe, because he wants to tax the multimillionaires and the billionaires. That doesn't affect the guy in a fucking trailer park. They're not going to tax you, buddy. Like, it's not going to happen.
Because of the way Fox News covers things. They're like, communist, socialist. Explain to me, you dumb broad.
They want to dumb it down to everybody to enrage people, and unfortunately, they cater to the low IQ, and those are the people that become angry because they have no knowledge as to what's really going on. It's not that difficult to go online and Google these people's policies. It's not that hard to Google Bernie's policies or Hillary or Trump or whatever. It's not that hard. They just want to scream at the top of their lungs that they're right and their candidate is right.
Here's the scary part. I've maybe talked to, who knows, maybe 500 people in a year about the election.
Oh, wow, man. You have balls. I couldn't do that, man, because
Actually, that might be a high number I just said, but I feel like if I was on an airplane to go into New York City, or if I'm talking on air, maybe 150 to 200 people I've talked to about Trump, and they've all been against him. Here's the problem.
That's good, though. But
here's the problem. Our population is 320 million. So that means
and a lot of those people are in the middle of the country.
19 million and whatever, 900,000 that potentially like him. Like, we seem to overlook how many people are in America. You know what I mean? Like the amount of moronic dumb craps, keeping it clean.
Oh, absolutely.
That want him to win. It's like, oh my God, wake up.
Yep, and unfortunately, all of those people have a voice now. Like we were talking about last time with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff.
I love reading.
They have the platform to have a voice, and it gets out there, and they should not have a voice. Not everyone should have a voice. Not everyone should be able to state their opinions for the masses. It shouldn't happen.
And what I don't like about him, too, is he doesn't back up how he's a bully. The problem is he basically made fun of Rubio and Jeb Bush out of this race because they had no comebacks because they're bland people that didn't know how to deal with this piece of scum.
Well, he's doing that to throw them off. That's what bullies do. They don't have any ammunition to... He has nothing to discuss of any validity to any real topic. And so what he does is when he gets backed into a corner, when he realizes he doesn't have anything... Oh, yeah, exactly. Why don't you drink some water? Or why you're hot? Or whatever. You know, that's what he defers away to kind of cover the fact that he doesn't really know anything. And he doesn't.
I loved when Jeb Bush had that good comeback where he goes, are we going to talk about the problems or Trump?
Exactly.
And he came off so robotic. It was like, dude, you have no chance here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but that's the issue with Trump is that he appeals to those people who are used to the politicians who seem robotic. That's the only appeal that he seems to be getting. And that everyone's like, oh, well, he speaks his mind. Who fucking cares?
You know who else does? Rush Limbaugh.
Everybody,
Opie and Jimmy, Howard. It doesn't mean they need to be president.
Exactly. A lot of people speak their mind. Matter of fact, everybody online that you can see on Facebook and Twitter speak their goddamn mind. If that is a qualifying factor to being president, then everybody should be president. Not the case, though. Not everyone should be fucking president at all. So that's it's gonna fucking spiral out of control. And we're watching it happen before our eyes.
I'm not saying idiocracy is upon us, but I am saying we're going down that path.
Oh, for sure.
It's getting bad. I mean, they had 4 years to come up with anybody to have run, and they come up with Hillary Clinton.
And I mean, unfortunately, I don't know the process in finding people to become. I wouldn't. I'm sure I could figure it out if I spent a day researching it. But after a while, that's I'm not going to do that. I'm American. I'm not going to do that shit. It's fucking ridiculous.
The other thing too is I describe Barack Obama as the backup quarterback. You watch sports, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The Matt Hasselbeck of being a president. He's pretty good. he wins you games, but he throws interceptions that also lose you games.
Yeah.
But he's a journeyman that did well. He's not an all-time great president, but by no means does he deserve the disrespect he's getting. Especially when you look at people who are running, it makes you realize that Obama may have been a bit cocky and not the person that wanted to work with the Republicans, but he also showed compassion for Americans, which nobody is showing.
No, not at all. And yeah, that is true that he has shown compassion. And he may be a backup quarterback, but you know what? Hey, I don't think that he is any worse than George Bush or George Bush Sr.
He's better than Bush.
That's what I'm saying. People try and qualify it on presidents from 50, 60 years ago, and that you can't compare him to exactly. People compare him to John. Well, he's not as good as John F. Kennedy. Nobody is. There will never be another president like John F. Kennedy because that's who he was. It's like trying to compare comics to George Carlin and Pryor and, Bill Hicks. There's not going to be another one, so it's a tired conversation. Just let it go.
It's sort of like when you read a TV review and they're like, "This cartoon's nowhere near The Simpsons." No, The Simpsons
it's completely different. It's a unique. If we want to regurgitate and recycle the same type of presidents, we will never progress at all as a society. John F. Kennedy, do you think he'd be able to last in this environment? We don't know, but it's a waste of energy to try and even think that. So
kind of the Michael Jordan, LeBron James argument.
Exactly. It's who gives a fuck? They're never going to play one-on-one. They're never going to play in a league together. It's like fucking let it go.
Here's what I want to talk about too. It's funny. Now, do you go to the gym?
Yeah, I try and go like 2 or 3 days a week, or 2 or 3 times a week.
I've been going less lately, but I go nonetheless. And now, without getting gay, in the locker room, do you wear a towel or do you ever just go all naked?
I go to Anytime Fitness, so there is no locker room. It's just one of those gyms that are open. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I just like the ones where you can go in anytime,
but
and
that's shower. That's gross.
There is a shower, but it's like a closed room, so you're able to go in there, and it's just you're by yourself, which is I like. But I used to go to like the YMCA or Gold's Gym, so they did have that locker room environment. And when I would take showers, I would put a shower on in the shower. Or I'm sorry, a towel on in the shower and then walk out and then put my pants on underneath the towel. I wasn't about that. You see the guys like walking around naked with like, or you walk around naked? Oh my God, dude. Which was frightening because we were fucking 6'11", fucking walking through a shower. You're like, I don't know what's fucking happening right now. I better get out of this locker room.
My thing is this. I don't walk around naked where I brush my teeth and I take a piss while naked. What I do is I get naked, I walk to the shower, I shower, and then I walk back, and I have my underwear on. So for about 2 minutes, I'm naked altogether.
That's normal. But I'm saying the guys that spend a significant amount of time in the gym completely naked, it's like part of their workout. You know what I'm saying?
They have to
they do 30 minutes of cardio and then 20 naked in the shower. It's like, all right, buddy. You got to fucking chill out with that shit.
The gym can get really homoerotic.
It definitely is. I mean, especially now, and this is, I don't know if you've seen this shit, but I was talking to Jacobs about this because he works at a gym, and I saw a guy in the leotard, full-length pants, like the yoga pants for dudes, though, walking around, but like a half-hard fucking dick, just walking around the gym. I'm like, no, you are not, like what's his name? Terrell Owens used to work out in. You know what I'm talking about? Like the full... And he's doing, it's like, you're not a fucking athlete, man. Like, you're not running with a parachute on your back. You're sitting there doing leg presses at any time at 11 on a Tuesday. Like, and then Jacob said that there's more and more people doing that shit where they're in those skin, like dudes in skin tight fucking leotard pants. It's ridiculous. That is super homoerotic.
So here's what happened today, and then we'll rant more about the gym because I have a lot on my mind. But what happened was, so I'm naked for like 30 seconds. I mean, I'm just naked, and I'm just going to the shower.
Paint the picture. I want the full picture.
It's not that far of a walk. It's not like I was brushing my teeth. I'm basically took off my underwear, put it in the locker, and then I'm just walking.
Yeah.
And this like really ghetto black guy goes, and I'm going to keep it clean. It was the F word to describe a gay person. He goes, "Yo, are you a maggot, man? Yo, are you a maggot?
Oh,
this
wow.
ain't your house. We can't be seeing yo C, yo D. Yo, you a maggot, man?" So I go, whatever, dude.
Wow,
so
that's a good response, man. Normally, that's like fighting words.
It wasn't like I was naked on my phone or doing Snapchat.
It's just like I'm walking to the shower. That guy's projecting because he's thinking of other things. That's what, usually people that are that angry about that. Usually, if you see it, you just acknowledge it and you move the fuck on. No one sees a dick and then's like, I got to comment on that. I got to scream at the top of my lungs and yell slurs at this guy to get my point through to prove to my dad 20 years later that I'm still not gay. You understand? Like, but you had a good response not to acknowledge that, man, because that could have been, you could have been naked fight like that Eastern Promises fucking movie. You know what I'm talking about? The guy fucking.
So the best part is I take my shower.
Oh, man.
And he's waiting outside.
Was he still chastising you when you were in the shower? Like, you motherfucker.
I could kind of hear they were saying something. Like,
God,
maggot.
dude.
So here's what happens.
That's
I get out of the
intense.
shower, and he goes, yo, you done in there? And I go, yeah.
He's still.
And he goes, good. He drops his iPhone, and it shatters completely.
That's what you get, man.
He shatters the iPhone completely. I've never seen the inside of an iPhone. It's like looking at
It probably wasn't
a
even
guy
an
that doesn't
iPhone.
have an eye.
Yeah.
Like those videos, he completely shatters it
Yeah.
and goes, smuck. I'm going to have to clean this up. And then
Yeah.
just walks away and doesn't clean it up. It just
Wow.
left.
He left his phone? Or
He broke his iPhone to do that.
So he left the whole phone there. Oh, my God.
I was like, dude, that's karma for being such
Yeah.
a little imbecile.
Yeah, that's
I was
ridiculous.
happy. I was like, damn, dude.
Yeah, that's instant karma right there, man.
Because he's a maggot, man.
Yeah, because he's a maggot. Holy shit.
I just don't want to say that word.
No, I hear
I'll
that.
throw out
It's
there.
pretty intense, though, that happened. I
Another
would
thing about
never.
going to the gym. I don't get why people have to brag about it. The only reason I'm
Yeah.
talking about it is because something crazy happened. You're not going to hear me say, yo, Chris, I got
Yeah.
my pumping, man.
Yeah,
I'm on
yeah.
wire, and I'm
Yep.
ready to do the show.
Yep. It's pretty intense when those people. I don't get it. Like where they have to brag about, like you were saying, like going to the gym. Like, oh, I did 10 reps today. Who gives a fuck? Good for you,
man. What I don't get to is this. I don't get CrossFit. It's cool.
No.
I got it.
No, I
I
don't
got
get
you
it
used
either.
to be fat. No one ever cared about you.
Yeah.
Girls never looked at you, or guys never looked at you. Your parents never cared about you. You had no friends. So finally you fit in. I get it.
Yeah.
But who do you think you are bragging about working out? Do you think anybody cares? Do you think anybody's impressed?
That you lift
do
a
you think
tire.
It makes anybody feel good? Or do the couch potatoes go, oh, man, I can't do that? It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
And I heard this, too. When you work for CrossFit, it's sort of like a cult or being a salesman of
Yeah.
like a scam group,
Yeah.
like Vector Knives,
Yeah.
where you say you need to recruit other people. So that's why they do it. And they have those gay videos where they're like, oh, I'm benching and I'm pushing a cartwheel.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. CrossFit's pretty ridiculous. I don't understand the point.
the bragging.
I get the point of it to change up a workout, but to recruit people and to have like this entire subculture of people who are like, oh, I climbed to the top of a ceiling today and did 20 push. Who cares?
I don't get why you have to break it down.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out. The normal demographic of someone who works out is a dumb jock with a low IQ.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't take someone very smart to do it. So you're no different when you work out, you know?
Yeah. And it's the same with vegans and stuff like that, and people on diets, and they always
Look
got to
at my
talk about
food I
it.
just made. It looks like a pile of shit.
Or you shouldn't be eating that. That's the thing that bothers me is when people are like, that's unhealthy. Yeah. I don't give a shit. I'm going to eat it. Stop talking to me about your diet. Nobody cares. It's just a way to get attention for yourself. There's always going to be people like that.
Overcompensating because no one cares about them.
Yeah, because they're not interesting. That's
Yeah.
it. If the topic of your discussion is what you eat and what you worked out or how you worked out today, then you're just a boring person. And unfortunately, there's a lot of
And
them.
they have no personality whatsoever.
No, never.
They are a bland, boring person.
Yeah.
And I get, man, I used to be 295. I get what it's like to lose weight. I used to be that person.
Yeah.
But I also was in high school. And
Yeah.
I was 18. I'm not a 35-year-old salesman
Yeah.
for some rep company that has no life. It's like,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yep. It's pretty ridiculous.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about is, we talked about this last time, but since we lost the segment, it'll be like it's new again.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Florida drivers, bro? It's getting really bad, man. It's scary. It's an embarrassment.
It's all the people coming down from up north, man. It's all the old people who have no idea how to drive here. A droplet of rain hits their windshield, and they have to stop on 75 or the Howard Franklin and slow down because they think that's the safe way to drive in Florida, and it's insane. It's
Or
ridiculous.
They don't want to get to where they have to go, so they have to look at someone's car crash, and that person who had a car crash is now feeling bad about themselves because everyone's looking at them.
Oh, yeah.
Like in Illinois, whenever it was slow and you had to wait and it was bumper-to-bumper traffic, it was always a bad car crash.
Yeah.
I would say 9 out of 10 times here it's a little crash, and everyone's like, "What's going on over there?"
Yeah.
I've never seen a car crash.
Yeah, it's like that. I've asked a lot of people, and they're like, it's nothing like anywhere else the way that it is here in Florida. And I think it has a lot to do with the snowbirds, man. They just don't know how to fucking drive.
And I love the cops that have nothing better to do, so they're just chilling by like St. Pete, by like Roosevelt.
Mm-hmm.
When you go from Roosevelt, I would say all the way to like the Trop, that part of the highway, and they're just chilling, waiting for speeders.
Oh,
like
yeah.
what a fun job, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they get paid a ton of money just to
Pinellas
sit there
County,
fucking-
what?
Yeah, basically, man.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I just don't get the people who drive drunk as well. I have never seen so many obvious drunk drivers like here in Florida.
I've seen people, my neighbor from across the street came home one time, and she had a motorcycle, and she fell off of her motorcycle while it was running, stumbled to her front door, got something out of the house, picked up her motorcycle, and then weeble-wobbled back out into the road and drove into traffic and drove off. I was like, she's going to die.
Broad from Florida the other month, probably in October, that was periscoping while drunk driving.
Yeah, and she still didn't get in trouble. She went to court, I don't think, I swear to God, something happened to where she is not going to jail. She may have gotten charged or something, but I swear to God, because I remember reading it, and like, that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, man, I just don't get the idea of drunk driving. I don't get when they say, "But I'm a good drunk driver."
Yeah.
You may be...
They're probably drunk when they say that, too.
Yeah, they're like, "I'm a good drunk driver."
Yeah.
Like, you may be decent, you may be better than others. Like, it might actually be a skill where you can focus, but you're never that good because you're impaired, you dumb shit.
It's not something you would put on your resume. Like, under skills, good drunk driver.
Yeah, I just find it ridiculous. She faces no jail time.
I told you.
A smirking, mumbling, bumbling Florida woman who did a broadcast of herself while drunk driving on the live app, Periscope, has skirted jail time after getting a plea deal. I am sick and fucking tired of these plea deals.
Yep.
Everyone says, how can we fix drunk driving, bro? Everyone says, how can we fix the epidemic? Let's not give anybody jail time.
Nope.
Let's air some ads during Adult Swim
Yeah.
at 11:30 at night
Yeah.
when everyone's high on their bongs.
Yep.
That's what's going to reach the demographic.
Yep.
Not giving them jail time. Can you imagine if this broad got jail time? Then we would actually go, we don't want to be like her.
Yeah.
Let's just let the millennials skip through.
Yep. So now everybody will be periscoping. I mean, it's happened before. Even before her, there was like people like on Twitter, like talking about how they're drunk and YOLO and all that shit like that, and they either get in an accident and die, or they get arrested, or worse, they kill somebody.
I just don't think people know how bad drunk driving is. I feel like 70% of drunk drivers get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And
For sure,
get caught
it is.
enough.
Probably a vast majority more.
85, I'd say.
Yeah, at least. I mean, because
there's not that many arrests, and you have to imagine a lot of people are drunk.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, how many times have you driven down the highway late at night and somebody starts swerving in your lane, and you're like, "Where the fuck is a cop now? Like, this guy is gonna hit somebody," and they're never around. They get to.
It's sort of like a ball that's in an alley just going back and forth,
Yeah,
trying to hit the gutters.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Also, I want to get your take on this. How bad is my generation? I think my generation's bad, but I think every generation's bad, and I think just social media and fake outrage is making us look worse. I think we are entitled, but I think
it's making
our
it look
parents
worse.
made us that way, and I think everyone seems to overlook the idea that our parents made us this way. I don't get why we're getting so much hate.
I can understand that to an extent, but at some point they're going to have to start taking their own responsibility. I think because of social media, I think there's a huge magnifying glass on what the upcoming generation is doing. There's always going to be something. It's get reported quickly. Everybody got bullied. Everybody got in fights. Everybody got tormented as a kid. But now you have social media, which I think is a little bit unfair for that generation to have to deal with, because I think it would be terrible to be a 15 or 16-year-old and then have somebody from your school post that you're ugly or some shit like that. That would be terrible. But as far as the entitlement Totally, because there's baseball leagues that they don't keep score anymore. They took out dodgeball. There's no more dodgeball. Essentially, there's no gym anymore because too many kids felt like the losers. So you can't have losers anymore. So we're just going to take it all away.
But that's the adults' fault, too, because
Oh,
they're
yeah, it is,
catering to
because-
us. It's 50-50.
Yeah,
we
it
get
is.
all the hate. And all the people that rip into us are the 50-year-olds who parented us.
Yeah.
I'm not making excuses.
Yeah.
We are dumbasses, but everybody was dumbasses.
Yeah.
Think about it this way, too. The people that parented us, the Generation X or the baby boomers, they act like their music was so much better and they were so much better off. They were having sex in mud while watching Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin.
Yeah.
We go to Skrillex concerts.
It's
we
the
listen
same
to Kanye
thing.
West. Kanye West is the Gene Simmons of this generation. But Gene Simmons and Kiss are so legendary.
Yeah.
I just think they're coming off really old, man.
They are definitely coming off old, and they're entrenched in what they grew up in and their beliefs. And I think that happens through every generation. My dad, when I was a kid, when I was listening to my music, my dad's like, "That's not music." I think it happened to him too. When
What was your music?
I listened to hip hop and rock and shit like that, but it was different from what my dad listened to. And what my dad listened to as a kid was different from what his dad listened to. So he always told me that his dad was like, "Oh, this isn't music," and yet he's still saying the same shit. And I'm sure I'll say it to my kids too, that whatever Skrillex or Kanye, I'm like, "Yeah, this isn't music." I think it's just generational. I think it will always happen. I think it's in us. It's
What do you
inherent
think
in
of Kanye?
everybody.
I think he's
I don't like
hilarious.
Kanye.
I love him.
I think he's a funny person because he's so serious at what he says, and then everybody sees the joke except for him. It's like that South Park thing with the fish sticks one. They hit it on the head because it's still happening, 10 years later after they did that episode?
Yeah.
But I think now he is losing it. He has too many people around him that are like, "Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great." And it's
ruined
just,
him.
yeah.
The
And it's just,
Kardashians ruin any dick
Yeah.
that they end up hooking up with.
yeah, for sure. Look at Lamar Odom, man. He's fucking done.
Chris Humphries,
Ray
J,
J.
Bush.
Yeah, Ray J isn't doing shit. Reggie Bush doesn't have a career. I think he kind of dodged all that. I think he got out quick, which is good for
I think
him.
it's more just because Reggie Bush wasn't that good.
Yeah, that too, for sure. But yeah, Kanye. I mean, I liked him. College Dropout, I think, was a great album.
Even
after
up
that,
to
I'm like,
909 in 2009 was
Yeah.
good. Even in 2012, do you listen to rap?
yeah.
I thought Click was good, and then when he had No Church in the Wild and Ninjas in Paris, that was good. But that was 2 years before 2014 because it came out in 2012.
Yeah.
When he began to lose it was when he began hooking up with Kim Kardashian. Bound 2, that creepy music video.
Oh
Did
yeah.
you see it? Where she's
No, I haven't
riding him?
seen it. Oh yeah.
That's
Everybody
kinda
made fun.
when
Yeah.
He began to go different.
Yeah, I think at any point when you have that access and you have that kind of everybody on you, you have the ability to kind of go crazy. And I think that's what we're witnessing right now, where he's done everything. So now he's got to kind of keep going at a certain level to where it's kind of becoming bizarre. And I think that happens to a lot of people. Even if you look back to, I'm sure other musicians back in the 60s and 70s, they did some weird shit that people were like, this isn't like your normal
I
music.
just don't get why everyone rips on our but they act like the Beatles and the Monkees and AC/DC and Aerosmith were so clean cut.
Yeah.
I just don't get why you're going to rip into our music, but your music wasn't that good.
Yeah, I think the only reason and the only valid reason that people are ripping on the music now is it's so produced and
That's
it's
fair.
so fake. But there are people that
But it would have
do
been
stand
fake
out.
if it was around. Can you imagine if Kiss had the access to auto-tune?
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
saying, can you imagine if Kurt Cobain had Twitter? If all these
Yeah.
guys had access to what we have, they would be just like us. That's what I don't
Yeah,
get.
yeah.
Is rip into us all you want, but if you had
Yeah.
it, you'd be doing it too. There would be Vine videos of people having orgies in mud
Yeah.
at concerts.
But I think now because people have that access, anybody could be making a rap video or a music video simply by using those autotunes. And there's a machine called a pitch transposer where you sing as awful as you sing, but it goes into this machine and it cleans it up perfectly so it sounds like you're really singing. And people have access to that. I mean, you could download it online and have that. So I think that's the issue with people is anybody could be a musician now. And that's I think the frustration, whereas back in the day, you really had to work for it, and it was an easy process to get filtered out because you had to perform it. Now you don't really have to perform it.
What do you think of Bieber? I think he is talented.
He's good. I don't like his music at all.
I respect it.
I think he has talent for sure, but his talent kind of is overshadowed by his douchebaggery, and I can't get past that shit.
I thought...
And the fact that he looks like a lesbian. That kind of freaks me out.
Well, he looks a little different now. He looks less lesbianish. During his teenage years, he looked much more like a lesbian.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he is very talented at what he does. I think he's actually grown as a singer now with his new music.
Yeah.
I know you're not one that listens to Ha 1015 and all the top 40, but I dabble in it because it's in my age demographic, and there is much more listenability. I know that's not a word when it comes to Sorry and the other songs that are out compared to Baby from 2009. He's definitely grown as an artist.
And that's why he's still around, because he can progress as an artist.
That's why I think he's talented, is he's sort of going the route of Chris Brown in his prime before he beat up women and Michael Jackson. I think he can be the Michael Jackson of this generation.
Yeah, and but that goes back to generational thing, where now it's such a business commodity to have an artist, to generate this mass amount of money for this corporation. They put people around him to make him grow. They have producers, they have writers, they have coaches, voice coaches and shit like that. So it's a business to where, I mean, if you look at a Rihanna or a Beyonce album, the list of producers and writers on that is incredible. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then but that's another thing that the older generation, because you look at the producer credits for, like, I don't know, some band in the 60s, and it's just the musicians. It's just those guys that produced it, and there was an engineer, and that was it. But now there's so many people that have their hands involved in it.
Yeah, man, I just think our generation, when it comes to me, just gets way too much hate. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I think we need to kind of chill out and worry more about the people that are running for president than ripping into us.
Yeah, for sure. But it's out there, so people have access to be able to have a voice and fucking get you all riled up about getting pissed off about the music that's out there, And that's the whole point. That's what they want people doing, I think.
Now, before I let you go, what are some things you have coming up?
April 14th through the 16th, I'll be at Snappers Comedy Club in Palm Harbor. I'll be featuring out there. I can't remember the headliner's name. Dave DeBuano, I think is his name. So I'll be out there, and then I got some other stuff later on in the summer.
If you ever need me to tweet out anything, I'm your guy, because you're one of the funniest comedians out there.
I appreciate it, man.
You are easy radio, dude.
Oh, thanks, man. I
can
appreciate
just say
it.
what's your take on the news, and you just are very good at it.
Yeah, man, it's fun. It's organic. I like this. Come in there. You have no script. You're just like, all right, we're going to sit down. This is what we're talking about, and then fucking bounce off of it.
And the fact that you're hardworking and you're busy a lot, I want to get you on more. I think maybe once a month I should have you call in.
Yeah,
and just
I could do that for sure, man.
Because I was thinking about it, like,
yeah, you have people call in now, right?
All you guys from Cigar City Comedy are legit. I love you guys.
Good, man. I appreciate it, man. We appreciate the exposure too, because we've been doing Cigar City for a few years now, and it's starting to finally take off now. Especially Jacobs is back in town. He's putting together open mics and stuff.
I'm glad he's back on Facebook. That's really helping his brand.
Oh, for sure it is. And now that he's able to do that, he's got like 3 or 4 different shows going on, and he's out there doing stuff.
What I love too is you're beginning to see more from John J. Murray.
Yeah.
Joe Riga, they have their open mics that I've been wanting to go to. There's the Liquid event with John Jacobs. Like, you're beginning to see Cigar City Comedy comics growing more, like J.B. Ball, Matt Fernandez, everybody. This is the year for you guys, because I think you guys have more events. Michael's in your group too. Michael Murillo.
Michael Murillo is great. He's a good booker and great
Smith
comic.
Going to be with Johnny B in Palm Harbor this weekend.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys have a lot going on.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's good that we were able to build that through this community and get comics together, like you were saying.
Weingarten too.
Weingarten's killer.
Krishna Reddy's funny.
Yeah. I'll be seeing Dave actually later on at a show, and like you were saying, to eliminate all that kind of hate, like you hate mean comics. That was the whole point of Cigar City, is just to get everybody together together, put out a good product, and put out good shows.
I mean, you guys can be mean in an edgy way, but you're not mean as
yeah,
a douchebag.
but it's
You're just
comics.
honest.
We're
Yeah.
going to be fucking mean, and that's the point. That's what weeds everybody out that should not do stand-up. If you can't take it on the chin and move on, then you shouldn't do it.
Sort of like Lisa Ann.
Who's that?
The porn girl, you said take it on
take
the
it on
chin.
the chin. There you go. I like that joke.
That's why I'm not a comedian.
No, that was good if I would watch more porn. I'm going to do that now.
This has been Hoppe Hour. We'll end on that note.
Thanks,
I
buddy.
am your host, Ryan Hoppe, saying peace out. Thanks, dude.
Thanks, man.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.